the days of yore, downloading titles on Wiiware with absolutely no idea what they are. Mike Tendo here. We're going to be talking about 6 titles on Wiiware that I think you should pick up. And one of the reasons for that is because the Wiiware system and Wii Virtual Console, pretty much the Wii shop in general, are shutting down in March of 2018 in the sense that you can't add any points in March 2018. So, you could find yourself in a circumstance where you want to go buy some games and you can't because you ran out of points, which would really suck. So, I think you should jump the gun and check out 6 titles that I'm going to mention, which kind of piggyback off of what Wes did. So check out Nefarious Wes's video. It's going to be down below in the links and also maybe somewhere around here. Yeah, depending on how you're watching. Anyways, so 6 games that I've chosen, which, I think Wes had a really good selection, but I think, he kind of played it safe. And so I wanted to try to, give a little bit of variety, like a little bit more variety than what Wes gave. Not that Wes's selections were bad or anything, they were great. But I think I feel like he played it a little too safe. He picked some really, really, really good games. And so I wanted to mention a few other games that are actually really good games, but then some others that are kind of sleeper hits that you really may not have heard of, which may be worth it. And, you gotta figure between $5 and $10 is what you're gonna be getting these titles for, so you may want to look into it. So, here are my selections. Originally developed as a mobile game, Tamina Sanner is certainly the weirdest game on this list. Keeping the gameplay simple, you use one button to make businessman Hitoshi Susumu jump around multiple times in the air as he runs automatically. Collecting coins and speed up balloons are encouraged, but trap balloons that slow you down are also present. While on the ground, your character can time pressing the A button on the Wiimote at the right moment, resulting in hilarious results when interacting with things on the street. From flinging yourself ninja style to breakdancing and pop and locking, you'll find that there's tons of variety with each interaction, and the better your timed button pressing is, the more fun the interaction. If you make it to the goal before time runs out, you can play a minigame for additional points by lining up the bar and pressing at the right time. With a bunch of stages, a turbo mode, and up to 4-player multiplayer mode, Tamina Sanner is definitely worth checking out for such a low price point. Anima seems to get a bad rap in reviews due to its stiff controls, lackluster combo system, and simplistic level design. But Castlevania fans looking for another dark embrace with an action platformer may find some intrigue in this gothic title. Anima Arc of Sinners is loosely based on the Anima tabletop pen and paper RPG. You play as Celia, as she wakes up with a blade in her hand and a lot of questions. She was traveling with someone named Nemo, who she is no longer with. She begins her quest in this place called Arc City, meeting someone calling themselves ID. Celia is quite nimble with the ability to roll backwards, and while I personally didn't have issues with the combat, I can agree that it felt a bit simplistic and stiff to start off. Despite this, the jumping mechanics worked well, the visuals drip with an oozing dark atmosphere with excellent parallax scrolling, and while the character sprites are a bit limited during gameplay, you'll generally get used to it. My biggest gripe is that the music doesn't cleanly loop, so you'll hear a short break in music right before the track begins again. You'll be hearing a lot of chorus of singers behind classical music, along with electronic backbeats before the track begins to fade. It's a bit jarring, and it pulls you from the experience, but overall I thought this was much better than what critics were saying. It's also worth noting that a lot of reviews are based on the European version of the game, which frequently crashed and had way more issues that never got updated. So for those of you who live in North America, we got the better version of this game as it was patched prior to release over here. So, is it worth the points? I'd say so if you're a Castlevania nut like me. Just know that you're getting a very average experience with Anima. Plus, you can't go wrong with Underboob. Moving on. To be honest, I was never really a Bomberman fan. That is, until Bomberman Blast came out for Wiiware. Originally, Bomberman Blast was released in Japan as a retail title with a story mode and everything. However, the rest of the world received a much simpler version of the game in the form of Wiiware. With that said though, you're still getting a bargain with up to 8 players in multiplayer matches with all different types of gameplay, level designs, and options. There's a King of the Hill mode where you try to hold on to the crown until the timer runs out. There's a mode where everyone is just dodging bombs. There's a classic mode where everyone's trying to kill each other. There's a countdown mode, a team-based mode, or you can just do the surprise me option. There's normal and large levels, and you can kind of mess around with these to figure out which ones work best with which style of gameplay. You can even win at the last second if you play a mode that offers the revenge option. This allows you to throw bombs from the sidelines. If yours kills another player, you get back into the game. You can also change your Bomberman to your Mii characters. The fun never stops with Bomberman Blast, and even though the online mode has been shut down, it's still an awesome local multiplayer party game that I love falling back on when people are over. Now, some of you may be saying, whoa, hold up, you can play Nick's Quest on computers. That's true, but this is the only way you can play this game on consoles, and thanks to motion controls, it makes the game even better. Nick's Quest is a love story between Nyx and Icarus. When Icarus's wings begin melting when he gets too close to the sun, Nyx goes after him. Taking control of Nyx, you'll run through huge levels with giant intimidating pillars and statues, one of which inhabits the body of Zeus. He helps you on your quest to find Icarus, allowing you to move platforms, blocks, and stop walls from crushing you. The controls here are very tight and responsive, allowing Nyx to jump about 5 times, glide with her wings, and move swiftly throughout each level. The music isn't exactly big bumping grooves, but it fits the core experience with all sorts of classical instruments. You'll be trying to dig around for different secrets, though I haven't figured out yet what they do. You can also play this 2 players where the second person controls the Zeus powers and one person controls Nyx. If you don't own this one, grab it before the Wiiware service gets too close to the sun. The original La Mulana on PC was a fantastic nod to the days of the action platformer on the MSX computer console, paying tribute to that machine and that gameplay style. So when the developer decided to remake their game on Wiiware, I was excited. To date, this is the only console port of this game with a PC Vita version released as well. The Wiiware version was completely rebuilt and added significant changes and improvements to the visuals, in-game map, and gameplay engine. Everything was rebuilt from scratch, and it shows here. You take on the role of Professor Kosugi, whose father writes him, letting him know he's found the hidden land of La Mulana, the birthplace of life. You set course on a path armed only with a whip and your trusty laptop. Yeah, you heard me. As you quest onwards to find the meaning of life and recover your father. Interestingly enough, this game almost never saw the light of day, with the publisher Nicalis bailing at the last minute after the game was basically done, due to the game releasing late in the Wii's life cycle. The cause and delay of release had to do with additional DLC, which we will never end up getting in the North American release. However, this game was picked up by publisher Enjoy Up, and that's why we were able to play it today. While this version was later released on PC with some additional improvements, it remains an elusive hidden treasure of 2D non-linear action platforming. If you dig Symphony of the Night style games, Igavanias, or just love games where you can whip stuff and find hidden treasure, La Mulana is right up your alley. Returning to the 1 vs 1 style that made Dr. Mario great, Dr. Mario Online RX offers a ton of new ways to play this classic puzzle game. There's classic mode in single player, as well as a versus mode versus the computer, in addition to flash mode, which requires you to race to destroy the flashing viruses first. I played this game online quite a bit back in the day, and while I'm generally pretty terrible at Dr. Mario, I always have fun with it. There's also a virus buster mode, which is new to this version. This allows players to use the Wiimote to change not only where the piece goes by pulling and dropping it, but also you can rotate the pieces as well. While soundtrack mainstays Fever and Chill return, we get 2 brand new tracks in Sneeze and Cough. Both are great, but come on folks, everybody knows that Dr. Mario and Chill is the only way to go. It becomes a truly crazy mess that's a fresh take on the original flavor of Dr. Mario. And yes, you can change from Mario to your very own Miis. Another great party game for puzzle fans. Looks like this is just what the doctor ordered. Well, there you have it. 6 games which you may or may not have heard of on the Wiiware that I think you should download before it expires. So, what do you think of these games? Have you played them? Have you not played them? Are there any that you now are kind of interested in checking out? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Otherwise, if you liked the video, click that like button. If you want to subscribe if you haven't already, you know what to do. Mike Tendo here. Thanks so much for watching this video. And